This is a lot of work, but I really like doing this for these girls. They know what's happening, so they're following me around pretty tight, hoping I'm gonna let them out. I currently don't have an official gate anywhere, so basically any place that the fence is connected to the fence post, I will put the tunnel going out of that, so that way it's a little easier for me, and then I just bend the fence back and forth when I want to close it off and let them out to run around and not let them get out, or I open it to make like its own gate basically to come in and out. The way that I've set this up, I either have to walk around the coop or I have to step over the fence in order to access the coop from the front. I should have done it a little bit differently, but I don't mind going around. There is so much of this to compost. I try to rake up the area for all the leaves and the poop and other debris. Sometimes I find a lot of plastic stuff that blows up against the fence, and I try to throw that away instead of putting it in the compost. But using a snow shovel has been a game changer. I'd like to use sleds, but because we don't hardly get any snow around here, we don't have any sleds available. I would literally have to drive north and maybe even leave the state to get one if I didn't want to have one like shipped to my house. But if I were to get like a sled, it'd be one of them long ones that you could put 2 or 3 people in, and then I could also use that in the future for rabbits when I get those, and I could use that to put underneath their hutches, and then the poop would fall into the sled and I could pull that to put it in the compost. I left the yard long so the ladies would be able to enjoy the taller grass and be able to like bed down in it and relax and sunbathe, and then also be able to dig at the roots to find worms and grubs and all that kind of icky stuff. Sometimes the hardest part is doing the corners on these tunnels, depending on what pieces are left and what you're working with. I had some pretty awkward pieces to use, so it was a little bit interesting, but this isn't predator proof. It's just to hold my chickens in. I don't really have too much for predators around here except for like maybe a stray dog or cat. I'm always trying to pay attention to their body language to see if they spot anything before I do, but I've also got my head on a swivel as much as possible as well, because there have been attempts at swoop downs, but I have these little plastic owls up on the fence and I think they're helping. I'm not really sure. Alright, here is the new tunnel location. Sorry about the dogs barking. I'm surrounded by dogs, so there's always one barking. This is the end of the roll. It's getting quite hard to unravel. It's starting to hurt my hands. And I have this one kind of at a slant there. I didn't move it too terribly far, I just wanted to give them more grass. They're enjoying the yard. They're about to escape.